with your peers and your colleagues who are artists of equal caliber to you, right? Who've gotten to where they've gotten because they worked as hard as you did. How do you convince other artists, particularly younger career artists who are still climbing that pyramid, that this is not only okay, it's actually a necessary part of what it means to be an artist, and it won't be a zero-sum thing where you kind of sacrifice career to be a citizen? I'm sure you both get into these kinds of conversations. How do you sell folks in your worlds on this idea?
You know, I have to say, I was at Juilliard from 2000 to 2004, and definitely, you know, the mindset was we were going to be in our cocoon, and then we would, you know, emerge triumphant from this chrysalis, and the world would pelt us with flowers, and we'd tour around, and, you know, that was how that was going to work. And I was lucky in that I was one of the folks who got management as I came out, but the truth is, you know, kind of the hidden secret was that a lot of our very staid arts institutions, New York City Opera being a key one for my industry, were in a lot of trouble, and the trajectory was not upward. And so, you know, I think that in itself, already some of us were sort of smelling this and thinking, okay, is it about starting to reframe the value proposition? Because really, where do we belong? Where's the income stream? Where can we deliver value maybe in unexpected places? I was also at Juilliard on September 11th, and like a lot of people, that was just a, you know, a bizarre life moment. And I literally remember that day, there was a group of us saying, what on earth can we do? Juilliard shares a city block with a firehouse that was among the first responders that day, and they lost 11 guys. And we, you know, about 24 hours later, we went, and if those of you who are in New York, you remember people were still hanging up all of the Xeroxed missing sheets, and we went over there, and there were all the missing faces of those fire guys and their families waiting, and we asked if we could sing, and we sang a few songs, and it was transformative for us, and these big guys began to cry, and you could sort of see it unlocked something for them, and it connected me for the first time in my entire musical education to the fact that we actually could provide a solution. And you know, I think that was sort of the beginning of the conversations. I was lucky enough to have a dear best friend at Juilliard in this sort of thinking, Monica Eunice, fellow soprano, and you know, after that event, we really went back and said, you know, there should be ligaments, there should be connections for artists who want to go share their art in a hospital, who want to go put their art in the street. You know, there should be a way for us in the professional arts community to connect in that way.
Thank you for that. Vijay, how do you?
So I resonate so deeply with what you're saying, Camille, and I also want to add this, that it's an immense privilege to have the opportunity to play on stage with a great orchestra. It's an immense privilege to be able to study at a place like Juilliard. Being here at Aspen has brought up like a ton of memories for me, because the last time I was here was 1997, and I was 9. And I was one of those kids who spent 10 hours, you know, in the room practicing for my lessons. And it's the first summer I ever played Tristan with James Conlon, and I was 9, and that wasn't appropriate for a 9-year-old to be playing Tristan. But it is as much our job as artists to heal and inspire as it is to disrupt and provoke. And part of our training in elite institutions, part of the presentation of art in elite institutions has been focused around the consumption of a very elite, winnowed art form, right? Whereas the truth is, Messiah was composed in 1741 to release 142 men from debtor's prison. Vivaldi's Venue was an orphanage for girls. The Bach St. Matthew Passion would be called a sing-along concert today, because every single person in the audience knew those chorales and they sang along. Right? So it's up to us to actually undo our own commodification.